Hello ladies and gentlemen to the Battle Aces Closed Beta Test 3 Tournament Brussels Sprout Edition. I hope that the video is fine, that the audio is fine. If anything is wrong, let me know in the chat and I will try to fix it as soon as possible. You can see here our beautiful brackets. The stream will be quite short, however the level will be quite high, since in the 8 participants we have 4 of them that are in the top 10. So the skill will be very high and all the participants are top aces. We will cast the first round, only the match Dewalt VS Sojourn, but we will then cast both semi-finals and the finals. It is a simple elimination brackets, so it will go quickly. It will be best of 5 for the round of 1, then best of 7 for both semi-finals, and a best of 9 for the finals. Players are very hot. There is a prize pool of 50 euro. It is divided via 40 euros for the big winner and 10 euros for the second one. I think that's basically everything there is to know. The seedings have been made following the official leaderboard of Uncapped. So we have Bowanan, which is number 1 on the ladder, versus Sweet Shot Games, which is a very good player, but the lowest top ace out of these 8 players. So it's a classic seeding system. And we are going to begin the first match. I'm just going to re-ask if Dewalt and Sojourn are ready. They were ready a few minutes ago. Just asking for a final confirmation. Yeah, Dewalt is ready. Just waiting for Sojourn to confirm. Since the game is still pretty new, there is no in-game chats. We'll send him a little Steam message. Okay, so John is ready as well. So let's begin. So the Waltos is going to spawn on the bottom left versus Sojourn on the top right. Both players are going for a fast expansion. Let's have a look at their decks. You can see that we got a Blink on this side with the Beetle versus the other core, Scorpion and Knight. No AA for Sojourn, very interesting style, very strong style to combine the Knight with Scorpion. We'll see if they will clash immediately. I will reduce my scroll speed after this match. So Dewalt is just checking that he's not getting backstabbed by Sojourn at the moment. You can see that they are both checking their entrance. It's very risky to attack the opponent immediately if you don't have a clear advantage, because you have the defender's advantage. So both players are playing very safely at the moment. Going to check if I can reduce my mouse speed. Up, there we go. Should be better. Yeah. So we can see that both players are taking. Dewalt is going for the first pass part of his deck, while Sojourn is going for the other one. So we will have a Mortar for Dewalt versus the Falcons and airship of Sojourn. I don't see any immediate advantage in this case. However, if they keep taking on that same path, I think that Dewalt will have a big advantage with his first line versus the Predator of Sojourn, which will not be very useful since Dewalt is not going air. So there is a chance that Sojourn tries a very big Falcon push. I guess that's his strategy. Yeah, we can see it here. While Dewalt will try to defend with the Beetles. Both players going for a T3 for their second expansion. And Dewalt is trying to siege his opponents with the mortars. He can do the slow crawl like he's doing right here, but the Falcons are going to try to prevent that from happening. I'm not sure that there will be enough Beetles if Sojourn can target a few Beetles with his ground army, which he cannot do because there is a good wall with the blinks. Or not. There won't be enough Beetles here. A very good defense by Sojourn. He has to invest all of his energy into Beetles, otherwise he will be crushed by the air oppression over time. And going T3 is not a good idea for Dewalt, because it's not going to kill the Falcons. The advanced blinks are not good against the Falcons. So there is a clear advantage for now for Sojourn with all the air power. Might get the base. Yeah, most likely going to get it. He's putting a possible nail in the coffin of Dewalt for this first game. Yeah, well done by Sojourn. Those players are very even, by the way. Sojourn told me they are about 50-50 on their ladder matches. That's why we are seeing this player casting this match for the moment. Very nice first game. I'm going to update the scores. This should be correct like this. The vault is ready. I'm asking Sojourn if he's ready. Scheme on Steam. Okay, he's ready. Let's go, baby. Let's see if the players are going to adapt their deck. It's a very strong strategy that we saw from Sojourn, which indeed... Ah no, I didn't change his deck. I think... No, they didn't change their deck. I'm just not sure if the Mammoth was there. There is maybe a change here from Dewalt, but the decks are pretty much the same. I'm looking at the chat. Somebody sees a difference in the decks compared to last game. Sojourn is doing a very aggressive scout with Scorpions. But I think it's just scouting, he's not going to engage. He's good enough to know that he shouldn't. Yeah. That's the reason why it's dangerous to do it. We get chipped a little bit by the blinks, but it's not really a big deal at all. In my opinion, the Knight Scorpion combo can beat the blinks. But again, in the very early game, there is not enough units to beat the defender's advantage, so you cannot really do an early push when both players are at the similar level. With Sojourn getting an expo, same for Dewalt. So this time Dewalt is taking with his bottom row, the bottom row of the deck, but Sojourn is countering with the other side of his deck, which means that the Mammoth won't be able to do anything because of the destroyers of Sojourn. And the heavy hunters are going to counter the butterfly. I think in terms of deck it's again a small advantage for Sojourn, because his T3 should destroy the Dewalt's deck absolutely. Unless Dewalt goes to Foundry after this first tech path, I'm not sure yet. Both players skirmishing with a little path of Scorpions that are going to Dewalt's backline. That's going to hurt him. Let's see how long it takes for him to react. Not reacting for the moment, so that's going to... no, he reacted. It's not going to cost too much for Workers down. Well played by Sojourn, it's clearly worth it. And a big fight is going to happen on this side. The destroyers are not very close to the Mammoth here. He's maybe trying to move them. Yeah, clearly moving here to the Mammoths, which are already very low anyway. I think that Dewalt is pushing himself against a wall. It's a very tough matchup with this deck, in my opinion. The destroyers are absolutely destroying the Mammoth, but there is a little bit more on the side of Dewalt. So it's tough to say who is going to win this fight, and I guess it will be Dewalt at this point, but there is a chain of reinforcement right here. It's not going to be enough. All the Scorpions are going to melt versus the Mammoth and the Blinks. Yeah, Dewalt is going to destroy the expansion of Sojourn and take back the lead for this game, I believe. No tech tree from either player. I think that they know that doing that will put them too much on the back pedal in terms of units on the terrain. So they are trying to finish the game on T2. And I think that Dewalt can stop his push right now. He's going to face destroyers. Go back, Dewalt, my friend. You have the economic advantage, you can tempo, and you can wait for Sojourn to be forced to go out. Especially since he's not taking. So Dewaltos can sleep on both ears at the moment. It's very good to make just a few butterflies, 2 or 3, nothing more. And it's forcing the opponent to mix up his composition. It's going to make his micromanagement harder to manage, so it's a very good idea here by Dewalt, who is just pressing in his opponent's faces. Yeah, he's confident and he's right. So we've got a 1-1 after game 2. Well played by Dewalt. Going to update the score and invite both players for the third game. Very nice game. It's indeed even. That's what I was told before the match began. Anything can happen in this matchup, so it's a real pleasure. I'm going to ask if they're ready for game 3. Sojourn is ready, everybody is ready. Let's go, baby. Let's see if any deck changed. I think that the Dewalt should maybe do a change. Yeah, that's what he did. Sojourn didn't anticipate that, so he kept the same deck. So I guess there will be a deck advantage on the side of Dewalt, who went to recall and recall Hunter. Very interesting switch with the recall Shocker, so a very defensive deck with both turrets, and is most likely going to try to win with the advanced Blink and or the Locust, where the advanced Blink actually destroys both of the T3 options of Sojourn. So I guess this is Dewalt's plan, but it's hard to analyze and cast at the same time. So feel free in the chat to comment with the way you see the deck adaptation to impact the game. With Sojourn being way more aggressive this time, he knows that the walls cannot go too far with the recalls because it's very slow. So he's trying to poke somewhere, trying to get some damage here. It's a very risky play, but it seems like it's working. I think that the knights are very strong against the recalls, and it's somewhat showing here. Maybe he can chip a worker or two. That's going to hurt. A good recall here. A little bit of micro by Dewalt. More units coming in. So 4 workers were lost. It's hard to say if it was worth it. It's very hard to say. Both players got their expo. Nobody teched yet. I think that they are both waiting for the other to tech to counter the opponent's tech. So we might have a core battle for a few minutes, but I'm eating my words since Dewalt went to his foundry tech while his opponent went to his what's the name of the building again? Tech. His air tech, okay. And Sojourn is trying to attack on the expo of Dewalt, but that's not going to work out with the recalls, which are immediately coming back. Sojourn losing a little bit of his units here, but again, nothing too bad. So it will clearly be the Falcon strat again, so recall hunters should be built en masse by our friend Dewalt. Otherwise, like the first game, is going to be overwhelmed by the Falcons. Curious to see if the strategy will work again. And I don't think that Dewalt should go for his T3 because, again, yeah, okay, he's doing another strategy. He's going for his... yeah, Starforge, thank you, Mo, in the chat. He's going for the Starforge. I guess it is for the flag turrets to destroy the Falcons. The Falcons are very slow, so it's possible to take before the Falcons do too much damage. Let's see if it will be the case. It's going to be rough, but yeah, he has a lot of recall hunters this time, more than the Beatles. I think it should be enough if he TPs. If he does the recall, yeah, he's doing it. Yeah, it should be more than enough. And I think it's a bad push here from Sojourn with the... Ah, no, okay. The reason he's doing it is to destroy the expo, but it's going to cost a lot of money. Which means that Dewalt can most likely do a very strong push and possibly a terminating push now with his army, because Sojourn offered a lot of units. I'm not a fan of that push. It was too much of a sacrifice, even if you could think that it was worth it to get the expo. There are still enough recall hunters to destroy the Falcons. Yeah, you can see this wall of pew-pews is absolutely destroying Sojourn. Most likely a GG for the Dewalters, but I'm not going to speak too soon, you never know. Or maybe I missed something. Sojourn went T3 Starforge, I'm not sure why, because there is no air on Dewalters' side. Maybe a misclick can happen. Yeah, this feels like GG with the natural of Sojourn being destroyed. Still quite a few Falcons, but they are too slow. So by the time they go to the other side of the map, Mr. Dewalt can remake enough recall hunters. But Sojourn is not giving up. Also, he might know that the game is over for him, but he might decide to drain the stamina of his opponent. It's something that some players will do. It's a very good strategy in best of X series. If you believe that you have more stamina than your opponent, you can grind his brain slowly. Totally legit. I have no problem against that. Competition is a competition. You can see that the slow slugs are trying to to go behind the slow falcons. Both are the slowest units of the game with the advanced recalls, I believe. Okay, GG. GG by Dewalt, who won game 3. I'm going to update the scores. So it's 2-1 in favor of Dewalt. If Dewalt wins the next game, he will win the best of 5 series. Let's see what happens next. Okay. Okay, Dewalt tells me that he's ready. Waiting on... Okay, Sojourn is ready as well. I think the score is properly updated. I'm checking on the stream at the same moment. Yeah, 2-1. Let's go, baby! Let's see again if the players adapted their deck. I think that Dewalt will not adapt it, but that Sojourn will do it. Oh no, okay, I'm absolutely wrong. Dewalt went for an absolutely new deck with a very dangerous and very skillful, interestingly skillful combination of Wasp and Gunbots. I will explain why I believe it is skillful afterwards. Just checking if there is a change here. No change in the deck of Sojourn. So I think that this is a very difficult composition to play, because you need a very good balance between the Wasp that have to protect your little ball of Gunbots, and you need to manipulate both groups properly in relationship with the other. It's a little bit harder than the Scorp and Knight combo, because they have a very low amount of health, and the Wasp are moving at a very different speed compared to the Gunbot. But I think that it's an extremely strong combination, especially since the Wasp, as you all know, it can easily go in the back door of the player bases and so on. So we got a T3 and an Expo by Sojourn here, and poking by Dewalt. Since his opponent took an Expo, he can absolutely afford to press. This is an interesting kind of games that we love. We will get a lot of action, because Dewalt will try to make this expansion fall before it reaps the fruits. And so it will be very micro-intensive. You see here, he has to balance with a new bulk of Wasps, because there are only Gunbots left. I think this is going to be very hard to do versus the Knight and Scorpion combination, actually. But let's see. Actually. For my friend Nugras. Okay, you can see Sojourn is already pushing back, but okay, sorry, I didn't see it. Dewalt also made his Expo, so he can be on the back foot, and it's not a problem as long as he doesn't lose it. You can see that he's sending a few Wasp here to the back line of his opponent. It's a low amount, so it's not going to be too much of a loss for the fight, but it's going to be enough to disturb the APM of his opponent, maybe to get a little bit of echo. Quick reaction by Sojourn, but you can see that he used the select all key here. Little bit of mistake. But he's indeed here using separate control groups. Thanks, Sojourn. That's the way to do it. And he might destroy his opponent here. You can see that Dewalt waited a bit to make a big spawn. You don't have to spawn your units one by one and have them die one by one, so it's better to make a little ball in a situation like this one. And I think that Dewalt will be able to defend the push. However, he has a big economic deficit, with Sojourn having made even a 4th base. So I think that Dewalt is in a very difficult position. Yeah, it's going to, indeed, to be difficult to defend that. And the point goes to Sojourn. It's wonderful. We are getting 5 games out of this best of 5. Very nice deck switches. It's interesting to see the different strategies of both players. Thank you guys for deploying your brains as much as possible. It's a treat to watch such levels of play. And let's go for the next invitation. So this will be the final round for this best of 5. The life of both players are on the line, since it's a single elimination bracket. I suspect that Dewalt will change his deck again to the recall deck. That will be my deck. My bet, sorry. And let's see. Let's see if I will be right or not. Checking the Discord at the same time. At the same time, Kozis is saying that it is 3-1. Kozis won versus JXP. And Boanan is asking to report his score, so he probably won as well. Up. Just a small technical problem here. Trying to invite Sojourn in the game. Apparently he's not getting the invite. That's how it works with with betas. I'm sure that David Uwu Kim, as we call him, will take a good note. By the way, thanks to Uncapped for this absolute pearl or diamond of a game. I don't know how to say it in English. It's really a pleasure to play Battle Aces, and Sojourn joined us. Both players are ready. I can see in the chat that Volcanic is checking if bets could be made. And he's putting his money on the challenger. But who is the challenger, Volcanic? Yeah, it's a gem of a game. Thank you, Frequency. Let's go, baby, for the last round of this best of 5. Let's see if the decks have changed. And Dewalt is going back to his first deck, while Sojourn is keeping... Ah, no. Sojourn made some differences. We can see that he's using the Gargantua and the Shocker, as well as the Advanced Destroyer here. So it's very nice to see it.
Where are my brothers?
And he's keeping the very strong combo of Scorpion and Knight. We can see that it's mostly effective. It was a little bit less effective, surprisingly, versus the Blinks. I would have thought that it would destroy Blinks, but I was mistaken here. So let's see how it will happen this time. And we can see that the rest of the Dewalt's deck is the same as before. So Sojourn is just checking the points to make sure that it doesn't get surprised. It's going to cost him a little Scorpion. Not a big deal though, with both players expanding at pretty much the same time. And I think they are both checking who is going take in which direction to counter the opponent's tech. Even though this time, yeah, I will need to analyze those decks a little bit more to be sure of which line counters which line. But Dewalt is going for the mortars. And yeah, it's a good choice because the mortars are very strong against the shockers and absolutely destroy the Starforge choice of Sojourn. So I think it's a good pick. While Sojourn is attacking into the blinks, Dewalt has the defender's advantage, but again we have a critical mass of units, so the defender's advantage is much lower now than 1 minute ago. Will it be enough to destroy the base? Yes, it is. So Dewalt is under the red alarm mode now. He has to find a way to deal damage to Sojourn, otherwise he's out of the tournament. And I think the way to do it will be with the mortars. You can see that Sojourn was able to do that push because he teched way later than Dewalt, so he had more units. But now the revenge of Dewalt will come with the mortars. So the job of Sojourn is to prevent Dewalt from pushing. So what he could do, for example, is send a few Scorps in the backline through the north to fuck with the attention of Dewalt. Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's how you should do it. It's a very good strategic play. So you do not allow your opponent to push you too much. It's going to be very hard for Dewalt to do his push here. And he went quickly enough to prevent the mortars from being properly deployed. And we can see that this part here didn't work. I think that Dewalt is in a rough position because once the shocker will be there, they will hurt the blinks very strongly. Also, possibly the mortars are actually maybe not the best choice because the knights are big units. So the splash damage is certainly less effective. Sorry, I didn't catch that earlier, but it's actually obvious. With both players damaging each other's bases. The game is clearly not over yet. This fight is going to be decisive. Maybe if he can right click. Yes, I think he did. Yeah, he's clearly focused firing the shockers. That's the way to do it. This mortar is still alive. And he's going to T3. And the T3 of Dewalt is clearly better thanks to the fact that the advanced blinks are countering the Gargantua. So I'm not even sure if Sojourn should have went for the Garg. I think not. So Sniper and advanced blink push is going to hurt Sojourn a lot. So it's starting to smell good for Dewalt. This was a risky unpack, but it did pay it. It could have been hurtful if Sojourn had attacked at the moment of the unpack the mortars. But now he's in a very nice defensive position. With the T3 coming up, here it is. We've got 4 advanced blinks that are going to shit on the Gargantuas, thanks to the fact that they are anti-big and the fact that the Gargs are big. So they have a 10 million% damage bonus. And I think that this is going to be GG for Dewalt advancing to the next round, because of the fact that his deck is countering his opponent's deck, at least on those lines of choices. Sojourn is throwing everything he has to defend, but it's going to be rough. The mortars are here, and they are going to kill the Scorpions. Remember that an advanced blink doesn't do much versus a Scorpion, even if it's T3. Huh? So the counter square has to be taken into account at all times, all the interactions between all the units. But now Dewalt has an economic advantage and a composition advantage. So it's GG for Dewalt. Very well played by both players. Very well played by Dewalt. Congrats for winning this match. And congrats as well to Sojourn, who really played very well. He had a great match, great reactions, great strategies. Good game to both players. So we will see what's next. I'm going to update all the scores and update the brackets in a moment. So give me a few minutes to check the Discord with the reports of the other games. So Boanan won versus Switchot Trio. A lot of respect from Switchot because playing versus Boanan is very difficult. Boanan is an absolute beast at this game. So I'm going to update that part. Boanan 3. Then we had 3-2 for Dewalt versus our friend Sojourn. I think that it was 3-1 for Kozis versus JXP. I'm going to double check in the chat though to be sure. Yeah, 3-1 for Kozis. Good game, Kozis. Good game, Jay. Thanks for participating. You might be in the chat right now. I'm not seeing it at the moment. But thanks for playing. It's always a pleasure to watch your stream. Jay, the nicest Battle Aces and Stormgate player that I know of. The biggest heart. And Conqueror versus Letalex. What is the score? Okay, it is 3-2 for Conqueror. A very close series versus Conqueror. Conqueror is also a very good player. Letalex is also a very good player. His alternate nickname is TV Opa, you might know him. He's my nemesis on the ladder. A nemesis with a lot of respect. He destroyed me, I think 5-0 during this season. An excellent player in my opinion. So submitting the score here, and I'm going to update the page with the brackets for the stream. Just give me a second. Pum pum. There we go. So the brackets should be updated here. I'm going to check on the stream. Yep. So we are now going to go to the semifinals. Both semifinals will be casted. We are switching to a best of 7. So it's giving more chances for each player to come back, to adapt their strategy and so on. And the first match will be Senpai Boanan versus Mr. Dewalt. And after that, we will have Kozis versus Conqueror. I think it will be an extremely close match. The second match, Boanan versus Dewalt. Dewalt can clearly win, but is a slight outsider versus Boanan, which on paper is a little bit better, I think. But anything can happen for sure. However, Kozis versus Conqueror, it's number 2 versus number 5, so it's even closer. But okay, Boanan is number 1 and Dewalt is number 10, so it's also quite close. So I'm going to invite Boanan and Dewalt. I'm first putting the scores back to 0. Doing my little admin stuff. On the side, updating the player names. Boanan and Dewalt. Dewalt is an absolute beast of a player at Broudoir. He was rank A+ at IC Cup, if I'm not mistaken. So he's the kind of person that will destroy you. without even looking at his screen. And I'm going to invite Boanan and Dewalt. Boanan, I don't have you on Steam, so I'm going to need to add you. Yep. Sorry for this little downtime. I will give you the crabs in the sea in the meantime. So Boanan, I don't know if you're listening, I'm sending you my friend code on Discord. Where is Boanan? Oh, he added me. Sorry, but maybe I didn't see it before. It's a small notification. Okay. So I should be able to invite you now. Yep. Both players are invited. Dewalt versus Dewalt is not correct. Okay, this looks better. And I'm going to check on Discord if both players are ready, and then we can begin with this. Okay, both players are ready. They already said it. So let's go, baby. Best of 7 between two extremely strong players. Let's see what happens. Let's see what decks were chosen. Boanan with his trusted Scorpion and King Crab deck. We saw him play this deck yesterday as well, during the other tournament that was played. And Dewalt with a Guardian Shield strategy, very interesting. It's the first time we see it today. I see that the scores are not correct in the stream. I will update that afterwards. It's okay. It's 0-0 for now. I don't know why it's not updating, but it's fine. So let's have a look at the decks. What happens if Boanan decides to go for the first line of his deck? Is there any obvious easy counter? I don't see any at the moment. Anyway, with this kind of composition, it's usually the non-GS player that's going to force the GS player to defend air, but Boanan didn't decide to do it. He's going for the trusted crabs and the shockers. So let's see what will happen with Boanan taking... I think that... Yeah, okay. I think that Dewalt expanded, and that in reaction to that, Boanan is going to all-in his opponent. And with the King Crabs, which are a big unit and working very quickly, is going to get Dewalt's base quite easily, I believe. Let's see what happens, but it looks clearly like this is the train of thought of Boanan. I think it's a very strong decision. It's forcing Dewalt to go to this tech path, to have an anti-big to counter the king crabs, but there is a good chance that his third base will be destroyed before the butterflies are up. Good micro by Dewalt. He's wasting a little bit of time of Boanan, but you can see here the T2 is there. Also the king crabs are next to the GS, so they are taking the damage. Not all the time, yeah, you can see here, for example, they are taking the damage. So the GS is countered by the T2 unit. So very strong strategy by Boanan. I think it was the right choice. Now, who has the advantage? It's hard to say, because I think he got a little bit of resources through his third base. Not that much. But the thing is, Catburst is on the way for Dewalt toss. And if Boanan doesn't react quickly with his Gargantua, if he doesn't take, he's dead. Because, you know, the Catbursts are just the annihilator of the game. And the way he reacts is actually, he's going at the throat of Dewalt toss and going to kill him before he can get any Catburst or before he can get any resource. Because he's trying to destroy his second base. Not sure if it's going to work out though. No. It's not working out. I think that it's it looks like it's a win for Dewalt due to the fact that he will start. Yeah, you can see the Meow Bus right there, and Boanan is not going to be able to counter them with his T1 AA. I think it's over. But with Boanan, you never know. This guy is a real genius, and maybe he will get a bunny out of his hat and find something. The only thing I can think of is going to the backline of the opponent and to play a weird game like that, but it's going to be extremely difficult. As we were saying, everything is still possible in Battle Aces. Dewalt is clearly good enough to be able to take wins out of Boanan, and this is what he's currently doing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to see that. Very good micro of the hunters by Boanan, but it's still not going to be okay. The HP of the Catburst is way too high. And without the third base, I don't think it can be done. Also, he cannot attack because of the GS, which is protecting the base. Boanan will need a T2 to soak the damage, but he's not allowed to do it at the moment. Because if he doesn't use all his energy in the hunters, the Catbursts are going to march on him, and yeah, it's GG. I'm going to fix the score quickly. Don't know what's happening here with that. So it's 0 for Boanan, and it's 1 for Dewalt, and it's a best of 7, not a best of 5. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, the layout was properly updated this time. Sorry for this little technical issue. So let's invite both players. GG, very, very nice first game. I thought that Boanan would win with the King Crab push in the beginning, and the reaction to the fast expo of Dewalt, but it didn't work out. The Catbursts are very, very, very strong. I'm checking the Discord. Yeah, both players are ready. So let's go for the next game. Everything is correct. Yes, let's go, baby. Good luck to both players. I'm checking the chat quickly in case there is any issue. Rainbow Desu saying that there is an excellent micro, and I absolutely agree. Yes, there is another semi. The other semi will be played afterwards. Yeah, also a good micro on the Catbursts. Most of them were low life. which shows that Dewalt was putting the cat bosses back when hunters were targeting. And a very interesting strategy in this case, because Dewalt is going for a full all-in without an update. It's a strategy that can absolutely work, especially versus Blinks, I believe, but he's going to fight versus the micro god Boanan. So is it going to work? Boanan has to hold. That's really all he has to do, but it's going to be extremely difficult versus the Wasp and Gunbot combo that we saw earlier, where a lot of DPS is done by the Gunbots, while the Wasp are making a little bit of a wall, and quite a few workers lost already. But it's really a clock on his opponent's face, because workers will pop up here, and the advantage will go to Boanan in terms of resources. And honestly, I think that Boanan held it, and if he holds that, it's GG. Yeah, the Wild can still try to do something on this side. Yeah, no, there will be a lot of resources for Boanan. It's going to be very, very tough to defend. You could see the micro of Boanan was very good. And those 3 low health Blinks are attesting that they're happy that their master blinked them back before they died. I guess that this is what happened. Dewalt is still trying, he's getting a few workers, probably worth it in this case. He's clearly not giving up. He made his expo afterwards. The advantage for now is clearly for Boanan, but nothing is done. It's not over. Little bit of inattention here from Boanan, but it's only going to cost him a worker for Wasp, so it's an okay trade, it's acceptable. And both players are taking the OP bombers of Boanan are on the way, in combination with the mortar, and on his side, Dewalt doesn't have a great counter for the bombers. If you don't have 3 mortars placed on your main, the bombers are going to destroy these poor large lines of workers. So we will probably see sneaky bombers from Boanan go on this side of the map or this side. And I'm very surprised that we didn't see Boanan put Scorpions here earlier during his other games. It's usually a sneaky play that he likes to do. It's extremely strong. He used it against me, he used it on the tournament yesterday as well. And at least against me, it destroyed me. I don't think it worked yesterday against the better players. Very good strategy with Dewalt going to destroy the expo of Boanan. He knows that he cannot put all his focus on it. Is he maybe going to sacrifice the rest of his army? I'm not sure if it will be doable. Ooh, it's very close. No, it's not going to be enough. So I think that Boanan just GG'd his opponent in this case. So you know the base is going to heal slowly. And Dewalt has to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, to make something work. And it's a very good attempt here to go back, especially with the mortars not sieged up on time. And he has to get some economical damage here, which he doesn't. And the GG's, well played by both players, very good game. 1-1 ex aequo for both players. I'm going to update the scores. Boanan is coming back. GG guys. Or girls, you never know. You never know these days, but I think, guys. Pop. Let's go. Boanan, Dewalt. Okay, checking on the Discord. Dewalt is ready, Boanan is ready. Let's go, baby. Made a better player win. Checking the chat quickly. Let me identify changes and counters in the decks if you can in the chat. That will be a nice help. And we can already clearly see a big difference here. Dewalt going for the recall strategy with the recall shockers. And Boanan also changed his deck absolutely okay. Everything is different, so it's very nice to see. There will be mind games between these two players. No, it's because... Oh, sorry, the players are swapped, so my bad. I forgot to swap them. So we got Boanan on the top right versus Dewalt on the bottom left this time, so... it's going to be Boanan with the Blinks and Hornets versus Dewalt with the Recall and the Recall Hunter. So Boanan didn't change his deck at all. My bad, my mistake. But Dewalt clearly changed his all-in strategy in something extremely defensive. It's a very interesting strategy, especially with the two turrets that were buffed during the latest patches. And we didn't see them. We didn't see a lot of play with the turrets, so it's interesting to see what a high-level player is going to do with that. With Boanan poking and prodding a little bit with his Blinks, he should be able to get a little bit of damage. The point is to be able to, yeah, exactly like this, to chip a little bit of damage while the recall are turned. Or you can put your units, it's hard to explain without drawing on paint or something. In a you need your ball against a little peninsula, and then you can have a unit advantage, even if the amount of units is the same for both armies. Yeah, hard to explain just like that on the fly. Yeah, that was the wrong way to do it, I believe. It's not going to cost much. With both players having their expo and both players taking. However, this time the Recall Shockers will have a bigger chance against the Bombers. But I'm not sure if Dewalt aims to go to T3 immediately or not. We can see very interesting micro wars going at the moment at the same time, with both players getting their fourth expansion, their fourth base. Dewalt is going T3 indeed. I think it's a risky move. No. The reason he's doing that is to counter the mortar. So I understand the reason why he's doing it. I think it's a good move, in fact. It's hard to analyze that. Maybe Conqueror is telling me that I'm wrong on the chat. I don't know. What's the right play, Conqueror? I don't know if you're listening at the moment. But yeah, I think the reason why he went T3 here is to counter the mortars, and I absolutely agree with that play. And Boanan is forced in exchange to go T3 with his own advanced Blinks to counter Dewalt's own advanced Blinks, because both are big and anti-big, so it's the one-on-one suicide of the advanced Blinks. With Boanan defending a little bit of an attack of Dewalt. Dewalt is trying to find holes in the defense of Boanan, but there are none at the moment. I cannot even tell you which turret this is. Oh yeah, it's the normal turret, of course. With the Bomber doing a lot of damage here on the recalls. Bombers are very strong whenever recalls recall to a base in a big pack, because it's all about the AoE. So I'm not usually a fan of Bombers versus Recalls, because the Recalls are larger than Wasps or bots. However, if the opponent Recalls recklessly, he can lose his whole army in just a second. It's a very interesting way to look at it. With a very strong blink forward by Boanan, who is going to absolutely destroy the army of his opponent. Here, the Recall Shocker is not enough. Boanan is in a very good position at this moment. You can also see it in the population. 80 versus 130, 50 difference of population. Boanan is slowly choking his opponent. The mortars are advancing, and the anti-big damage is going to wreck the base here of Dewalt, most likely. Oh no, okay. He's taking his time, but okay, at the same time he's going at the north, a multi-prong attack by Boanan. While he's trying to even go here, but Dewalt is doing a little bit of a recall. And here goes the bombers, but they are not properly positioned. A little bit of a spread here. And Dewalt has to find a way to get to his opponent because of the advantage that Boanan has. But I think it's over because yeah, the army difference is way too large. So GG to Boanan. I will make sure to put him in the correct slot for the next game. Well play as well by Dewalt. So it is 2 for Boanan. 2-1 for Boanan. Yeah, I'm surprised that we didn't see, or maybe I missed it, but we didn't see bombers go into the mineral lines of Dewalt. It's usually the strongest way to use them. It's something that Boanan does usually, I believe. Didn't do it this time, but okay. It still worked out for sure, so yeah. I'm certainly not going to criticize the place of Boanan. Again, I remind you guys that Boanan is number 1 on the ladder and Dewalt is number 10 on the ladder, so it's a very high level game. Checking the Discord to see if players are ready, and both players are ready. Everything is set. Let's go, baby! Let's go for game 4 of this best of 7.
We are stronger together.
So we got a change of deck on the side of Dewalt, so we've got Blinks versus Blinks this time, no more recalls. The decks are much more similar this time, not exactly the same, there is a difference here, Valkyrie and Predator, but the rest of the bottom line is almost the same. Also the Beetle and the Hornets are a little bit of a difference. The larger difference, of course, is the fact that Boanan is again using the bombers, which should in theory be countered by the mortars, I believe. But Blink versus Blink, you are not allowed to attack. Clearly not. Unless, like Dewalt did, your opponent puts a base up, then you can go for a push. But Boanan prefers to play it macro, and is also taking his base as a countermeasure. Whenever your opponent does that, either you push, or you take a base yourself. Those are the 3 classical options, obviously. Both players are checking if their opponent is trying to be sneaky. You see here, Boanan doesn't have to put his army here. His workers are not here yet. So he's staying on the back to make sure that he can counter both lanes. And he's not doing what I usually do, which is to place just 1 blink here. Because if your opponent goes to a push, he will just destroy your blink. You will be aware of the push, but you lose 1 unit. And in a mirror matchup, every unit counts even more than in the other matchups, I believe. So both players are going for the Starforge tech path. So they will again counter each other, because the butterflies counter the mammoth. So here it could be a very interesting micro play. One of the 2 players could decide to attack, because you can really protect your butterflies behind your T1. Sorry, you can really harass the opponent's butterfly with your T1 core, and you can pull them back if your opponent tries to do the same. So if you have a good macro, you will have an advantage. You can see that Boanan decided to make a few Hornets just in case Dewalt uses the strategy that I told you, which he doesn't. But 1 butterfly by Boanan, I'm very happy to see that. In my opinion, is the way to do it, but a little bit of miss micro. He maybe didn't see that there are beetles on the other side. So I'm not sure that the butterflies paid for themselves in this case. It's hard to tell. I think they shot a little bit on the on the mammoths and a very strong push in the end by Dewalt, who might be able to take this base before he comes back. He's going to sacrifice a little bit of his army to take the base, but it should be worth. Oh no. Oh yes. Oh no, oh yes, oh no, yes, will he do it? Yes. I think he's going to do the sacrifice for the base, which is often a very tough choice. Huh? You can see here a butterfly again, microed back a little, just trying to destroy the mammoths. That's a very strong play. So he gets the base, but at the cost of a little bit of army, but not too much. I think it was a good engagement by Dewalt. Let's see how the players react. There is still no T3 on the way. I believe they are not... Oh, never mind, I didn't see it. There is a Predator by Bonan who went T3 Starforge. So he knows that he won't be annoyed at all by the butterflies. The range of the Predator is extremely large, so you cannot micro like we saw it with the butterflies earlier. So I believe that one Predator should be enough. But again, it might be what cost him a little bit of a smaller army and made him lose the fight against Dewalt. It's hard to say. Micro has a lot of importance in such fights. You can see that Bonan is very careful with his butterflies. He wants to get the damage on the mammoths, but he knows that the beetles are right on the mammoths, so he has to do it exactly like he's doing it. It's a very good micro here by Bonan. I think that he's going to get the advantage out of these three little butterflies here. Yeah. They did a lot of damage on the mammoths, and Dewalt couldn't move his beetles properly. So that's how you come back in a game. Well played by Bonan. And yeah, if you look at the population difference, Bonan has a huge advantage at the moment. He really wrecked those mammoths with his butterflies. And his opponent is not allowed to do the same, just because of the Predator, which is here, and has a range of the whole map. So, yeah, you can see he's doing TBDBD with his legs here. By the way, you might have heard the sound of the units walking, which is a loud stomp. They just implemented that for the CBT3, and one of the sound designers confirmed on Discord that the crabs will most likely do TBDBD when they will walk for the next iteration. Something I'm eagerly waiting, with a very nice attack on the back here by the Waltos, so he can still make use of his butterflies. That's exactly how to use them whenever there is a Predator. Oh, just before the base dies here. So in the end, they're not going to pay off. However, Bonan is going to do the push of death and destroy his opponent. Very nice game. Very technical game by both players. GG. Well played. I'm going to update the scores with Bonan going to 3 versus Dewalt still at 1. So Bonan still has to win 2 games if he wants to eliminate Dewalt from the tournament. Nothing is done. Alright, so hop. Dewalt is maybe taking a little break. I'm going to take that time to take a soda out of my fridge. Be right back. Back, and thanks again for everybody for joining the stream. I hope you're enjoying the high quality matches that we got here. As a reminder, there is 50 euro for the prize pool. This is a single elimination format. I'm going to put the brackets back so that you can have a look at it. And I'm going to see what Dewalt is doing. Okay, I think he should be ready. I'm checking on the Discord at the same time. No, it's BO7. Dewalt is asking. So I'm answering. It's BO7. And I'm being told that the BO7 text is blocking the view. So I'm just going to quickly change that. Pop. Should be better like this, I guess. Thank you for the notification, Volcanic. Okay, we can go for the next round. Players are in the right slots. Let's go, baby. I'm checking if the layout is still blocking the timer. No, okay, perfect. Let's go. So we are going to get a Blink versus Blink battle again. Very micro-intensive, but as we discussed earlier, and I guess, yeah, both players kept the same deck. They shouldn't attack each other because the defender's advantage is way too strong in this game. It's absolutely logical. So it will be a low-tempo game for the beginning. And let's see who takes to what path. There is a good chance that both players take the same decision, in which case we will again have the Mammoth Butterfly matchup, which was very tight. Honestly, it's interesting. It's all about the micro of the butterflies, I believe. It's what we saw. Bornan had the advantage on that regard in the previous game. But this might push the Walters into willing to go for the Foundry tech. I don't know. We'll see. Bornan is going to play very aggressively and to spend his energy in the Hornets. Energy or Vespin gas, of course. His gold and Vespin gas. It's a very strong strategy in mirror matchups to use the Hornet as a quick backup to do a mirror push, and this is what Bornan is doing. It also means that he's overconfident. I mean, not overconfident, but confident that his micro is better than the opponent's micro. Otherwise, you cannot do that, in my opinion. Let's see if it's work. I think it's very close, and it's not going to work. No, the Walt is too good for this kind of shenanigans. He also spent a little bit of energy into his beetles, a little bit of spin into his beetles to be able to make the push, but he shouldn't go forward like that because, again, he's wasting his defender's advantage. You just have to let your opponents do the push. It's probably the better way to do it, but it's not going to cost him anything. He realized that, he went back a little, and in the end, it's pretty much even if you look at the population. A slight advantage for Dewalt. You can see some damage was done on the third base of Dewalt instead of on the units, and yeah, that's how it goes. With Bornan taking to his Starforge line while Dewalt is going for the Foundry line with the Mortars, so he doesn't want to do the same matchup again. I think it's an okay choice because if they go up to T3 and if he can protect the advanced blinks properly, with the snipers, it's going to hold on everything. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to do it. We'll see what happens. I'm happy to see actually whatever choice they make. The previous matchup was really great. The fact that it's a different matchup is also great. So let's see what happens. They still don't dare to go, and they are right. It's always the defender's advantage rule until there is a critical mass where the defender's advantage doesn't play that much. And the fact that you surprise your opponent, the fact that you have a better spread, a better concave, can win you the fight. And I think that Buanan is going to do the uber-duper push because Dewalt went for his T3 and Buanan knows that he would probably lose if it goes that far. So he's probably going to do a big spread. Yeah, you can see it like this. With the Mammoth first, and then he will do an A-click with a little bit of micro salt here and there onto his opponent. But Dewalt is very good placing his mortars properly. And I'm sorry, I missed this part of the fight here, where Buanan destroyed the natural of Dewalt while he was taking his opponent's attention here. So a wonderful play by Buanan, who is doing the big attack. Let's see if it's going to work. I think it's very risky, but he has to do it because the snipers and the advanced blinks are going to come up, and it looks like it's working. And there is no T3 for Dewalt yet, with the mortars that are not damaging the Mammoth properly in theory, but in the end they barely hold. Very nice fight by both players. Everything is going so fast in this game, it's very hard to comment every interaction properly. It's not beyond all reason. This is the fart genre here, the fast action RTS. Everybody knows it, as defined by Uncapped. So Dewalt remade his natural, and he has the T3 advantage this time. Oh, but he didn't protect his advanced blinks properly. Oh la 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 la, the micro of Buanan is way too strong. It was a little mistake by Dewalt to make the advanced blinks without properly protecting them through beetles, because the butterflies are anti-big, so they melt the advanced blinks. The micro god spoke again, and it is 4-1 for Buanan. GG. And so it is over for this series. Very well played by Buanan. Very nice play by Dewalt as well, by the way. Very strong plays. I thought that he would win this one in the end, but as always, Buanan is the master of all tricks and all trades, and he can surprise you into a win. GG boys. Going to update the challenge with the brackets. And the next match will be Kozis versus Conqueror. This will be an extremely close and extremely high level match. I'm very happy to look at this one afterwards. So let me quickly update the brackets. 4-1 for Buanan. Thank you, Dewalt. I don't know if you're checking the stream now. Thank you for your great games, a lot of skill. A real pleasure to watch you play, man. Up, submit scores. Up. I'm updating the image for the stream. Okay, so the updated bracket should appear any second. Yep, there we go. And yeah, so the next match will be Kozis versus Conqueror. Let me update, reset the scores. Still a best of 7. Player 1 will be Kozis. Player 2 will be the Conqueror. Up. Conqueror and Kozis are both ready in the Discord. So let's go. I think this will be extremely close. So when I made the seedings, Kozis was number 3 on the ladder, Conqueror number 5. So it's pretty much the top of the ladder. Let's invite the players. This and Conqueror. Okay. So turret builds, I will call him Kozis, that's his original name. I think he just changed his name recently. But for me, Kozis is Kozis. So you know who I'm talking about. Is everything okay? I think so. So we can begin. Let's go, baby! And so let's have a look at the decks, where Kozis will use the Guard and Shield strategy in the very most defensive way, because he's using recall and a turret at the same time. So I think that he's going for the ground strategy of Sniper, Advanced Blink, very strong combo. While Conqueror has a very strong deck. I think he streamed it yesterday, where he's got the Gargantua and the Cat Bus as T3. If you let him go there, you're basically fucked. That's basically the story. And Conqueror is not producing anything. I think it's not really an issue. He knows that his opponent will need to take some time to come. I don't know. Maybe he's just trolling. Absolutely possible. Or he had a stroke. Hopefully not. Now that his workers are coming up, he should pop his Scorpions though. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. He's trying to make me sweat. And yeah. For workers, absolutely worth it. For just losing, I think, 1 or no recalls, I'm not sure. Both players going for the first line tech. So the not the Starforge, the other one. Sorry, I'm losing my words. The destroyers can counter the turrets, so it's going to be difficult for Kozis defense if Conqueror decides to do a push, but I'm not sure if he should. It's hard to say. I think that if they go tier 3, it's going also to be rough to use the Gargantua, because Kozis will have the advanced blink. So it might become a very long macro game. We'll see. Kozis is trying to find holes, his opponent's defenses, and will just grab a few Scorpions, but I think it's a 50-50 trade in this case. He should do the recall now. Yeah, he does. Again, another expansion here by Kozis. And usually whenever players use the Guard and Shield, the games are a little bit longer, and they are trying to get for the T3 fight. And this is what he does, and he wants to use the Sniper. That's what I thought at the beginning of the match. Because the Snipers are going to counter everything that Conqueror has, besides the Gargantua, that will be countered by the Advanced Blink. So it's a good combo here by Kozis. I think he can win with the deck combo only. But Conqueror identified that issue and is going for the Starforge tech path. So very good reaction by Conqueror. He's trying to do something, but again with the Guard and Shield it's very hard to do it. The goal here is to have the mortars deal some damage from afar. But it's rough. He's going to get the base though, with the destroyers doing the extra damage against the base. Very nice play by Conqueror, who's going for yet another base of Kozis, who in my opinion is not allowed to defend this. If he TPs, yeah, the snipers will be left alone and it's not going to be enough. No. That's going to cost a lot. I think that the game is won for Conqueror, but again, I will not talk too soon because the compo of course is clearly better now thanks to the snipers. So he can still make a comeback, but he has a very high deficit in army population, so it's going to be very difficult. He really has to abuse his snipers, which is absolutely possible. So let's see what happens. But Conqueror won't let him do it. And there is no proper anti-air against the Dragonfly. So this is GG. Yeah, this is going to be GG. Because the GS will do a very low amount of damage against the T2 Dragonfly. And turret doesn't have his anti-air path, so he's fucked. It's the weakness of the GS. Huh? You have to try to force your opponent to go anti-air and to abuse a weaker deckline, or you do it like this as Conqueror did, and you trap him at some point. And now there is no counter for the Dragonflies, and well played by Conqueror. It's GG. The Dragonfly, it's the little extra that cannot be countered, that can easily destroy all the workers. But in the end, they are not even going to make much of a diff, but yeah. It's GG anyway. Well played by both players. So Conqueror is taking the lead. 1-0 is this second semi-finals. Yeah, I'm checking out the chat, and indeed I agree that multiple tech switches, it's usually strong versus GS. It's what won the game here for Conqueror. Very nice switch. And so let's prepare the game number 2. Here it was really a deck fight. Okay. Everything is clean, I believe. Yes. Oof, I must first check. Just need Conqueror to confirm that he's ready. Was this already confirmed? Yeah, okay. Let's go, baby. So, do we have changes in terms of deck? Because this made a little change here. Here he plays the Advanced Blinks with the Recall Shocker. It's interesting. I think that the rest of his deck is the same. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. And for Conqueror, I think it's the same as well. Not sure if the Mammoth was there, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the case. Yeah. I'm checking the chat. Ah yeah, Boanan is saying in the chat that Kozis had the better deck, but he needed to take on 2 base. And that the change that he made here is most likely a mistake. Indeed, I'm not sure why he made that change, but we will see. Maybe he just wants to troll us. Who knows? And so, Kozis, like the first game, is going to try to do little poke here, but it's not going to work this time. He managed to grab 4 workers during the previous game. Oof, you should recall, bro. Yeah, okay. Just losing a little bit of health. More than a little bit. It could make a difference in the next fight, but we will see. With both players taking with their first deckline on the Foundry tech. Yeah, I'm really not sure why he went for Recall Shockers. I'm not a fan of them against the Mortars. They'll never have the time to get close to the Mortars. They get destroyed before that. But at the same time, his advanced blinks were countered by the destroyer. So yeah, I don't know. I see that there is a debate in the chat, but I don't have the time to read everything. I'm sorry. Let's see how this unfolds. The dangerous attack here again, because this is... it cannot achieve much. We can see that Conqueror once again... it's GG. It's a deck no match. Conqueror is going for the Dragonfly. As a response, you can see that the line is quite slower than this line here. He did it as a response to Kozis going Sniper, and so there is no anti-air because of the Guardian Shield for Kozis. And so Conqueror can just mash his finger on the Dragonfly button and go on the mineral line and just destroy all the workers for free. Because the GS doesn't do a lot of damage against all the tier 2 units. Yeah, that's a bit sad. That's a bit sad. Kozis is not allowed to take before his opponent makes a move himself. So he realized it, so he's going for his big AA, but I think it will be too late. The cost will be too big, because it's a full upgrade cycle, and so this feels like a GG for Conqueror. You can see the GS is doing nothing against the T2 units. And Kozis is playing the right way, which is when you're in a bad situation, you have to counter-attack somehow. And he did it very nicely. It forced Conqueror to maybe misuse his Dragonflies, I'm not sure. But it clearly destroyed this base, and it's giving him a lot of time. Maybe he's coming back into this game. The airships will soon be there. At what point the Dragonflies will become useless if he makes enough airship. Because it's not like a super hard counter. So if you're 2 to 3, it should be okay. But if he makes just 3 airships, Conqueror is going to fly his Dragonflies into the airships. So let's see if Kozis is making the right choice here. Yeah, 5, it's maybe not enough. Yeah, you can see here that the Dragonfly can still contend with them. Yeah, not enough. But if he remakes, yeah, this time, yeah, it's... Conqueror, yeah, he's going to go back and destroy the airships again. This is not sufficient. And meanwhile, Conqueror has a big economic lead with the extra base. He has a big spread on the map. 2 extra bases. So he's really choking his opponents, and slowly he's taking the advantage. You can see he's got a lower pop, but he's got 2000 matter / gold being mined by his trusty peons here. Actually, for those that didn't know, those are mosquitoes. I cannot zoom here, but those are little mosquitoes. They are sucking the ground here. Yep, a lot of crazy lore in this crazy game. And it's a question of time, in my opinion. I don't see how Kozis can get out of this hole because of the economic advantage of Conqueror. I'm surprised that Conqueror is not taking to T3. So maybe thanks to the tech advantage, there is a small chance for Kozis. Because now, with the Valkyries, no way the butterflies are going to contest. Yeah, they are going to be vaporized. Yeah, you can see it. As soon as the Valkyrie is next to it, it's over. Come on, Conk. Why are you not taking more? You could go to Gargantua. The only thing that counters that is the butterfly, and so with a little bit of beetle protection, it's doable. Maybe it's not the best trade, and he wants to play it safe on the echo. I'm not sure. But we can see that slowly Kozis is crawling back. He's got his expo, which is now operational. We've got Far West standoff, both players looking at each other. but we are not going to have the big push. I think that Conqueror can just wait like that, and he can force the game into the sudden death, and have an advantage thanks to all the extra resources that he pumped. That might be his strat at the moment, I'm not sure. Oh, it's very surprising play. That's also why these players are so high ranked. They know what to do. And in this case the player apparently is to wait. It could be a small design issue in Battle Aces to have such stalemates to be created. Or maybe it's by design, I don't know. It's interesting nevertheless, that's for sure. With the snipers doing the pew-pewing on the poor little crabs that are just getting melted. Yeah, I think he has to push, otherwise the sudden death will make Conqueror win. So he might really be able to come back, while Conqueror is going to send a few butterflies on the back. Yeah, but the Valkyries are moving with the armies of so the Dragonflies, sorry, are not allowed to do anything. And his army is melting with the snipers, countering the mortars. Or maybe they have the same range with CBT3, I'm not sure. In CBT 1 and 2 they were clearly countering mortars. Ah, it's a really intriguing game. Conqueror finally got his Gargantuas out. And yeah, the snipers are actually wrecking them, huh? You can see that. That's probably why he didn't want to go tier 3. We are seeing the reason here. In which case I would say that it's a deck win. Maybe. Because Conqueror cannot really beat his opponent's deck in that position. Oh. Let's do a 2-hour analysis afterwards. Because yeah, if Conqueror pushes, he will just be kited to death by the snipers. So maybe he has to do a large concave. He has to try to surround the army of Kozis and to kill the snipers that way. I think it's the only way he can do it. We are in sudden death, there is a small advantage for Kozis. So Conqueror has to push, he has to find some way to put the score back in his favor, which he's currently doing. He just got 1 extra %. And there goes the surround. The snipers are fucked in such case. Unless they destroy the surround just with their raw firepower. But Conqueror pushed the bar in his direction. Oh, what a nice comeback. It was really a beautiful and interesting game because this was dead, he came back, and then he took the lead over Conqueror, which himself came back at the end. Very nice game, guys. GG. Thank you. What's the thing that the guy says at the end of the game? You lose if you never learn. The lore of Battle Aces is right. So it is 2-0 for Conqueror at the moment. GG. And I'm 99% sure that Conqueror is going to change his deck now. Because I think that he saw the weakness of his deck against the deck of Kozis. But let's see. Checking in the chats. Yeah, both players on Discord are saying that they are ready. Score is updated, everything is okay. In the chat, Tatoon is asking how sudden death works. So when there is 1 minute of the match left, you can see that there is a little bar with the percentage for each player, and it's the sum of a lot of factors like the resource mines, units killed and so on. That is giving a score to each player. And so the largest score wins when you reach 0 seconds in the timer. So did Conqueror change his deck? He didn't. Okay. He's very confident. And Kozis didn't change, so it's very interesting. Actually, I'm very happy to see that, because we are going to see a rematch of this very interesting deck matchup. I think this is the most interesting deck matchup that we had so far from each series, where it's maybe a little bit less decided by micro, but more by the choices that they are doing. And in this case, we've got Kozis doing a quicker third base versus Conqueror doing an expand. And in this case, I think that I prefer the choice of Conqueror, who is going to do a push on this base. I think this is what happened in game 1. I don't think that turrets, that Kozis can defend that. If the mortars are placed correctly, they cover the destroyers, and the destroyers just wreck the base. And so to prevent that, the recalls of Kozis should be used exactly like he's doing. He must try to find a way here to slow down the push of Conqueror. That's a strategic choice that he should make. Let's see if he can still do it. He should really try to go every second that is won by doing that is correct. And I think that Conqueror identified that his opponent is doing it, and so he decided, instead of pushing, to make his third base instead. It's a good reaction by Conqueror. In the end, Conqueror is losing a little bit of mining, but he took the right decision, because he's countered this play. So yeah, it's a very good brain fight at the moment. Both players are playing chess. It's not about the micro, it's about chess for the moment. Lovely to see. Good kiting by Kozis, who is going back. And we have the Conqueror push with the mortars covering the destroyers. It's a very strong push. It's good to know that the recoil shockers have a very large range for a T2 shocker compared to the classic shocker. It's shooting way too far. You can see here he's abusing that by recoiling on that side and using the long range, but you cannot do that against mortars because your ball of units is just exploding like a little ball of spaghetti, so no. But in the end, maybe I'm talking too quickly. He managed to defend the push anyway. Yeah, okay. So it's Kozis' turn. Not sure if he should go. Ah no, okay, there are no mortars that are deployed, so it could hurt Conqueror. Maybe he should try to go this way here right now before there are other mortars. He can really take risks, because if he makes a wrong, if he chooses to take the wrong path, he can always recall back. So it's good to try to exploit your opponent and try to go this way. But we can see that Conqueror got once again the air advantage against Kozis, who is struggling to reach him back with the airships. So there is a small time here where Conqueror, in my opinion, should destroy the workers. Yeah, that's what he's doing. He should just ignore the damage of the GS and destroy workers. Oh, okay. Just destroy the expo. It's fine as well. And it's clearly working. Clearly the best decision. I didn't think they would do so much damage against an expo. And now his opponent again has to make enough airships, because the airship is a counter to the Dragonfly, but it's not the biggest counter in the world. So 5 against what, 10 or something? I think it's clearly not enough. So here Conqueror could have killed the airships, but he wanted to make sure that he got the recoil shocker for free, which is also a very good choice in the back of the base here. So I like that as well. And we see that Kozis remade his third, but Conqueror again got his fourth, and it's a very similar situation to what we had in the previous games. With Kozis getting his Valkyries because he thinks that it's not going to be enough with the airships, and Conqueror going Gargantua against the ground T3 of Kozis. And it's also interesting that the butterflies prevented Kozis from making snipers because Kozis had to put his money in the airships. So it's a very interesting deck matchup here. With the large attack going on here. He's clearly going to get the base. I think that Kozis is absolutely destroyed in this case. And oh, this disappeared. Oh, sorry, I didn't see it. There was a base here, right? GG. Very good game. We can see that Conqueror has the chess advantage at the moment versus Kozis. So what Kozis should do, in my opinion, it's trio. He must do an adaptation to his deck, most likely, because we see that I thought that the deck of Kozis was superior to the one of Conqueror, but in the end, Conqueror is always finding the little holes, and Kozis has to adapt somehow. He has to do something. But very nice game and very, very well played. It's easy to say that because Kozis is playing amazingly, of course. Yeah, I see Boanan saying in the chat, and I agree with you, Senpai. He should get his advanced blink back. Still not sure why he made the switch. Very nice game, very interesting and very strategic. So that's very cool to see. So let's go for the next game. The life of Kozis is on the line. Let's see if we can find a solution against the strategy of Conqueror. It's really very interesting. Even if it's trio, the matches are very tight. So I really like to see that. And I hope that Kozis will be able to climb back instead of giving us a 4-0. But we'll see. I'm checking the Discord. Conqueror is ready and Kozis is ready. So let's go, baby! Let's see if there are changes in the deck. And there are. I'm very happy to see that. Kozis decided to go to a totally different strategy. Quickly checking the deck of Conqueror. It's still the same deck, if I'm not mistaken. So the big change will be here with the very, very, very strong Knight. In my opinion, the best core unit. That's just my personal opinion, and there's been no debate about it, but I think it's the best one. I'm just sharing that. We have no more Guardian Shield, no more GS this time. I like to see that. Not being the biggest fan of Guardian Shield, but it's also good. I'm happy that we got to see the Guardian Shield during the tournament, though. And here, let's see the micro fight between the Scorpions and the Knights. A lot of kiting by the Knights, but it's not going to be enough. Good surround by the Scorpions. So maybe I should eat my words again. Maybe the Knights are not the best versus Scorpion, but they are so good versus Blink. Oh, I don't know. This game is not easy. And we have a tech by both players. Very interesting. Let's see what this is going to give. Yeah, a big push of Falcons will not work against the Dragonflies for sure. So I think that at the moment this will be at the advantage of Conqueror. However, no, it was a mistake by Kozis, because Conqueror can then go T3 to Catbus, and Kozis has nothing to counter him because his advanced blink is on the other tech pass. So I think that is... I'm probably talking way too soon, but it looks like GG because of the tech pass that was chosen by Kozis. But let's see. I would be very happy to be wrong. Yeah, you see, Conqueror is going Catbus. And this is the GG sauce that you need with your spaghetti. Also, if you destroy workers just for scorpions, 8 of them, it's really going to be rough because it's slowing down the reactions from Kozis. I don't know how Kozis can win this. He needs his advanced blink. Basically, at least that's the way I play. If I see the cat bus in the opponent's deck, I only play reactively because I'm too scared by the meow meow. And here, Kozis will pay the price, I think. Still Conqueror putting a few scorpions here, threatening his opponents. So he's preventing a little bit Kozis from acting on the map. It's also giving him vision. You can see a move here. Yeah, it's just a few hornets that are going to scout, and whoops! You can see here the dead ball is coming. I don't know, you can counter that just with hornets. It's impossible in my opinion. I think it's GG. Prove me wrong, Kozis! Do something, my friend! Actually, Kozis should send... No, he cannot... Yeah, no, he should counter-attack. Force Conqueror back. Kozis should be here, I think. That's the only way he can win. Force Conqueror and go for a base trade. Force Conqueror to go back and use his economic advantage. But now the economic advantage is dead, so it's the GG of the GG. It's GG squared. Thanks to the cat bus. Yeah, you can see that the tier 1 AA Hornet is clearly not enough against the cat bus. It's not a secret. Yeah, very strong match by Kozis. I think it was caused by the fact that he went to the Starforge pick, which was an auto loss because of the cat bus. Yeah, it happens. It's a tough game, very tough game. I would have hoped and really thought that Kozis will take at least a game or two to Conqueror, or maybe even win. But no worries, Kozis. Everybody loves you. It's very tough to play against Conqueror, one of the best players of Battle Aces. Also, for the little tidbit, Kozis, if I'm not mistaken, was the second ever StarCraft 2 player to reach Grandmaster with the random race, which is a very impressive achievement. He did that many years ago, when some gamers weren't even born yet. But yeah, you've got a good old, very good gamer there. So I'm going to update the brackets and so on, and then we'll go for the finals between Bonan and Conqueror.
The game director of...
Okay. Scores are updated. I will re-upload the screenshots. There we go. So the finals will be a best of 9, yes, Bonan. We'll have to output all the brain power against Mr. Conqueror. Very strong match. I think that in the previous beta, Conqueror won his show match against Buanan. I'm not 100% sure, I think so. And at the moment, Buanan is first on the ladder, so it will be very, very even, most likely. Very high level game. I'm updating everything. Just give me a minute, please. So player 1 will be Buanan. Player 2 Conqueror. Ah, in beta 1, okay. Okay. So the score is 0-0 from BO7 to BO9. Okay, all the statistics are updated, so I think we should be good to go. Up. I'm going to invite both players. Of course, once the matches begin, please remove the stream if you're one of the players. That's obvious. Even though in Battle Aces it doesn't change much, but sometimes the Fog of War can still have an influence, especially in case of Butterfly Run By. Okay, the players are in the lobby. I'm going to check if they are both ready. Buanan is ready. Let's see if Conk is ready. Yeah, he's ready. Have fun and good luck, guys. And let's go, baby. Yopla. So first of all, let's have a look at the decks of our contestants. We can see that Buanan is doing the very strong combo Knights and Wasp. Excuse me for the view that's going to change right now in the Twitch video. Yeah, okay. So we have Knight versus Wasp, so very strong tier 1 by Buanan in this case. He's already taking a look. While Conqueror is doing the little Scorpion wall, very clean little wall on his side. Does he have the same deck? Yeah, he has the same deck that he used for the last game against Kozis. And we are going to see the Shades and the Behemoth, the Blaster, for the first time during this series. So it's very interesting. And as you can see, the Knights, even with the Defender's advantage, are extremely strong, in my opinion. That's why I was surprised in the previous game that they didn't do more damage. Here also they have the Wasp combo to help them. So a hard to micro combination, but in my opinion the strongest combination. But Conqueror showing a very good micro here, able to counter the attack and to surround the Knights. Very good shot here, with both players taking, but not on the same line. We have Buanan going for the Starforge, while Conqueror is going for the Foundry tech. And you can see here, he's taking an advantage, Buanan, against those little units. Because here, this 200 unit, the Knight, with just 1 HP, did a lot of extra damage, thanks to the good micro of Buanan. Oh, nice, you can see Conqueror saw that, and he just sent 2 Scorpions to destroy the Knight. But he lost his natural in exchange of that, even though he has a third. So it's hard to say, but I will clearly say that for now the advantage is for Buanan, especially since, yeah, if he can manage to go here, and if he can get the mortars, he will get the expo here, and then it's GG. But Conqueror is not going to let him. Placing another mortar strategically, yeah, he just got deployed. It's not the most efficient unit against Knights though, even though they are extremely powerful versus the Wasps. And so let's see how this exchange goes, while Boanan got his own expo at the same time. No tier 3 for the moment. They are really at each other's throats. Very strong micro by both players, very nice to see. By the way, you might not have seen it, but before the game started, they both wished each other F and good luck. With all the sportsmanship that is required. And we can see that the Destroyer, on paper, is supposed to absolutely counter the Knights, since the Knights are big and the Destroyers have anti-big. But in practice, I found out that the Destroyers are not that great against the Knights. But I didn't play since the last patch and the tweaks they did on the Destroyer, so I'm not sure about this anymore. But you could think that it's an absolute counter, where it's more like a soft counter, the Destroyer versus the Knight. And 2 expansion advantage for Boanan. This one is still only a cost for the moment. It didn't reap the results yet, but it will soon start to do so. And so the rule here is Conqueror has to find a solution, especially since Boanan started to take to tick 3. And once the shades are here, it's the GG. Because there is no strong anti-air from Conqueror at the moment. He would need the Gargantua to defend against the shades. But he cannot go to take 3, because he has to find some damage. And you can see Boanan, with a good game sense, is just... Oh la la, look at this mortar. That's the most beautiful mortar ever. Going to wreck all the Wasps. Very good unit placement. He's still going to lose the base here, but that was really a nice play. Yeah, GG. We got the sexy mortar there in the back line. That's really nice. Yeah, I agree with you, Waltinator, that the Gargantua is not the best counter to Shades. But I mean, it's what he had to try to do. It's the only thing he could have, I think. Or maybe Dragonflies, but... Yeah, maybe Dragonflies after all. Yeah, oh. I don't know. Tough choice. But GG anyway. So it's 1-0 for Mr. Boanan. I'm updating the scores. Up. Alright. Let's invite our players back in the game. And I'm also going to check on the Discord. Everybody's ready. Boanan is ready. Saying good luck, have fun. Just need Conqueror to confirm as well. And we can begin the game too. Oops, excuse me. Okay, Conqueror is ready. Let's go, baby! Let's see, as always, if we have changes in the decks. So Boanan, did it change? I think it's the same deck. I'm not sure about the top row, but the bottom row is absolutely certainly the same. And Conqueror, I think, kept the same deck as well. My brain is getting fried, so please confirm or deny in the chat if the decks are the same, but I think it's the case. Yeah, no changes versus no changes. I think so as well. So again, we can see the beautiful little line of Scorpions here. And Boanan's doing the same push as before. So it's exactly the same game for now. So let's see how the defense will fare this time. Boanan changed Foundry units? Ah, it's possible. I'm not sure of what he had here anymore. Ah yeah, he had blasters, so yeah. Bonan made an adjustment here. Yeah. Thank you, chat, for the collaboration. And so let's see the effect of the push. It's all about micro here, guys, so try to watch what's happening, how they are managing the units. The good kiting here by Bonan. This knight is in a little bit of trouble. He has to move the wasp back, to move the knight back, but I think the surround will be too strong. And the defender's advantage is still going to pay off, I believe. You see this little knight here? That's the key of winning this micro fight. If you can have it still alive and do extra damage, you start to win your little fight. But I don't think it should be the case here. The defense from Conqueror was too good for this attack, even with the very strong combo. So at the same time, we have Bonan that is taking an expansion and taking at the same time. So that's extremely ballsy, extremely greedy. And Conqueror will most likely punish that one way or another, which is not doing at the moment. Oh, never mind, I'm getting blind. He already has the tech 2. I'm sorry. So, no. Bonan is not that ballsy. Sorry. It's not easy to cast a game solo. Especially when everything goes so quickly. So, anyways, we will have the mortars from Bonan, while Conqueror already has the mortars with the destroyers that actually counter the advanced blink, so the extra tech path of Bonan. So it's a very key unit in this matchup. With Conqueror doing a big push on the expo of Bonan. It's very tough to say who has the advantage at the moment. And I think it's risky for Bonan to go for advanced blinks because of the destroyers. Because he has no big unit to destroy so far. There are no Gargantua on the field. So it could be a bad choice. Unless Conqueror decides to go for T3 ground. I don't know why Bonan did some heavy hunters. I think he's maybe trolling Conqueror, or it's a big fat finger, huh? 4 units. Yeah. Good luck going through this here. A very strong defensive line from Conqueror. I think that Bonan gave away a few units here, a few too much. Again, you can see that the knights can really resist though against the mortars. Slight advantage in terms of population for Conqueror, but yeah, nothing is done at this point. It's pretty much even, pretty much balanced. Both players are trying to limp a little bit with the mortars. It's very hard to do it when there are other mortars on the other side. We have a little bit of the TVT StarCraft 2 syndrome here. And those are the moves that I love, where somebody is going to do the little sneaky snake. There is no GS to defend against that. I know that my brother Volcanic is the fan of the little sneaky scorpions in the back. You destroy the enemy's attention, APM. Most of the times you get a few free workers with it. And at this point the matter is less important than the energy, so it's a very, very good trade. Even if he only gets 2, it's a positive trade. And here he gets 5. Yeah, 5 workers, so very good job by Conqueror. So they are still playing chess here in the middle with all the mortars. No way any player can advance into that. But Bonan is starting the tech to advance blink, while Conqueror, in my opinion, is going for the cat bus. He's not just going for that, but maybe I'm talking too soon, because the Dragonfly are quite effective against the mortars, and so with a good micro, he could maybe kill his opponents like that. We'll see what Conqueror decides to do. Because I don't think he should make mammoths because he knows that there will be advanced blinks for sure, which absolutely counter the mammoths. And we have a very good engagement here. I think that Boanan is not properly placed by Conqueror, who managed to sneak a few mortars in the back. Ooh, this is a stressful game. Conqueror keeps on making moves on his opponents. This time he will lose his advanced little army. Maybe it's a little sneaky snake here. That's not going to do much. Maybe he's using it for the scout. I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, you can see here Conqueror is going for the OP Miao bus. And the bus is countered by the flak turrets, but if you micro and position the bus properly, you can go around the turret. It still has a large range, but yeah, it can be moved around. I'm not a fan of the turrets because of that. It's always the same problem in RTS. You can see there is a nice front line from both players. This looks like a Beyond All Reason game, a co-op versus Barb's game. And the counter is getting low, so we might go into sudden death for this game. Again, the sneaky snakes here, not a lot of them, but let's get a scout at the same time. Force the opponent to switch his attention. It's quite cute. It's actually going to pay off. Yeah, it's going to pay off. So well played by Conqueror. This is the kind of little detail that can absolutely win you the game if it goes to sudden death. Boanan still doesn't realize that. Hey, come on, Boanan, what's going on, senpai? You're supposed to react to that. Ah, okay. He's going to kill the little scorpion. And that's going to probably hurt a lot, because it's going to be also a sneaky attack. Ah no, it's not, but still it's going to hurt, because I don't see... Ah no, there are hunters here from Boanan, so Conqueror cannot go full face with his Dragonfly. He has to find some attack angles. He cannot go in the backline here, because due to the timer, the original base is now depleted. We can see that Boanan has a shade on the battlefield. Oh la la, what a game. That's really a very nice position game. And so, okay, it's 52% in favor of Boanan, so the move is on Conqueror, who has a 50-second clock on his head. He's probably going to move bottom once he pulled his opponent's army at the top. Let's see if he doesn't. No, he doesn't, and he's right. Yeah, he does it, but he's going to meet the mortars of the opponent, and it's still working because the number is high enough in terms of Scorpion. So he's trying to get the percent. Ah no, it's not working. It's very difficult to get your little percents when you're below in the scoring, because you're forced to mash your head in the opponent's wall. So maybe a few workers here, but I don't think it will be enough to do 2% that quickly. So it looks like it's GG for Boanan. Yep. GG, but very well played by both players. This was one of the best games of the whole tournament so far, in my opinion. A lot of little plays everywhere. And in the end, even with the small moves, with the Scorps by Conqueror, it was still not enough. So Boanan managed to get an advantage on other small details of the game, and it's very difficult to see all these little things. I'm checking the chat quickly, in case there is anything wrong or something. No, everything looks cool. Player debating strategies. Alright, let's go to the next game. Conqueror is in the ropes a little bit, but he still has a lot of resource. So don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, everything can still happen. And anyway, as we saw it, every game is very tight for now. It's very tight between the two players. Yeah, Conqueror is saying in the Discord that he threw the game. Probably biting his lip. But I know the guy and I know that he will do his best to win the next one. And so, Boanan, better be careful. Both players are ready, so let's go, baby. And let's check if there is any switch in the composition of the decks. And I think this is the same deck for Boanan, and I think this is also the same deck for Conqueror.
All away.
Yeah, it's the same deck, right? Yeah, I'm 99% sure. If the chat can confirm as well, but I'm pretty sure. So are we going to have the same attack? I guess so. We have still the pretty line of Scorpions of Conqueror, and I guess that Boanan will do the same push. It's always a strategy. I think that it slightly pays every time, so it's a good strategy. He seems to make it work. I'm surprised that he's not making Wasp, and indeed, instead, he decides to take a turn, so he adapted his game plan this time. While Conqueror decided to go for the Forge deck. And we see that when both players are very good and quite even, the Mortars is a very good pick. Because you really block the map for your opponent, you prevent him from advancing. But it can be exploited sometime by going around, things like that. I can attest from my ladder losses that Mortar can be abused by the opponent, who can find holes if you don't have good enough placement or not enough units. With the little fight that is happening with a delay compared to the other games. And let's see again, this is all about the micro. The APM is through the roof most likely. There is steam coming out of the ears of both players, especially from Conqueror, who decided that this time is not going to let the Scorpions get owned by the Knights anymore. He's there with a revenge. And I think that Conqueror clearly won the fight this time. He's trying to go a little bit further. He should go back now. Oh, he's going to get Mortars just... Oh la 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 la. Beautiful move by Boanan. Able to defend his base quite efficiently in the end against these Mortars. It's really nice to play Knights versus Mortars in general. Very strong unit. Got a nice push here, but there are destroyers on the side of Conqueror. Boanan once more splitting the map in two. Let's look at the resources. Ah, it's very even, but Boanan went to T3 and Conqueror didn't do that yet. But as we saw previously, the Advanced Blinks won't be the best unit in this matchup because there are destroyers on the side of Conqueror. So again, I'm not a fan of this tech here from Senpai Boanan. Let's see how it goes. Oh, these mortars here, very good deployment. You see, he's going through the areas of the mortars. That's a beautiful movement from Conqueror. Conqueror is raging at the moment. He activated his Super Saiyan mode, and he wants to come back in this series. You can clearly see it. But that's going to cost a lot. Very good replacement of the units of Boanan, who is forcing Conqueror to go back and take some heavy losses at this point. But there is a push at the same time here. in the center by Conqueror, who is removing the Maginot line of Boanan. I feel like it's even again. I don't have the time to look here at the bottom. I can see that Boanan is starting with his Starforge deck. Maybe trying to get to the shades. Not sure at this point. Very, very close games. Very clutch. Both players are very hot today. We don't have sneaky moves this time from Conqueror. Like he could go with some Scorpions over here and go into the backline this way. I don't know. Never mind. He's doing the sneaky moves. It's very strong with the 2 destroyers. You can quickly destroy the base here. So I think this is very efficient. But he's getting countered at the same time on the other side of the map by Boanan. We're saying hello to Conqueror's 4th base. But maybe to no avail. Yeah, it's not going to work this time. And the little sneaky train of Conqueror is getting more and more impactful. And I think that Boanan is losing a little bit of stamina. He didn't react in time. He could have known that Conqueror would come here. So yeah, the Super Saiyan mode of Conqueror is activated. And he's trying to claw his way back into the series. Look at this. This is the Maginot line. But it's getting killed by the Royal Air Force of Conqueror. Forcing Boanan to go a little bit back. And in the meantime, Conqueror is slowly taking a little bit of an advantage. But there will be shades. The shades should pop up now. We didn't see any yet. Conqueror always trying to find little holes in the defense of his opponent, and that's a big hole, I think. But heavy hunters can be spammed by Boanan. I think he should rather make heavy hunters instead of the flag turret, which takes too much time to deploy. And Conqueror going for the cat bus. He's a big Ghibli fan, like we all are, I guess. And he likes the meow. Look at this, still trying to find the holes. This is very good, this is very nice to see. And this won't be enough to defend, but there are at least 1 hunter. Ah, okay, 3 hunters. So the Dragonfly clearly cannot go too far here in the enemy territory. Because they get absolutely destroyed by the heavy hunters. But there goes the Meow Bus. The cat train, baby. And that's going to hurt a lot. Because with the support... no, I'm not sure. The advanced blinks are the best counter against the cat bus. But the advanced blinks are countered by the destroyers. So if Conqueror moves destroyers with his cat bus, it will be extremely strong. So I'm not sure which... Oh, it's risky to do that. Okay. Interesting army moves by both players. Boanan really needs advanced blinks in the face of the cat bus here. But he has no echo anymore. Oh, he decides to push. That's also a way to deal with it. You force your opponent to retreat, to destroy his echo. It's a very good move by Boanan. But there are even more cat buses, so oh la la, it's going to be very difficult for Boanan to counter that. He really needs the advanced blinks, and they are not there. A Conqueror is very angry. It's like, no, not this time, buddy. Yeah, you can see that he's got a 8% advantage against Boanan, so it's going to be extremely difficult. Boanan has to basically all in with everything, but the army of Conqueror is too strong. Too many kiddies. Conqueror is waiting for his second side of the army to come, to engage into the fight, and we can see that there is a little bit of catch-up, but it's not enough. And the fact that Boanan is forced to sacrifice into the army of Conqueror means that Conqueror gets the extra percentage. GG. Very strong game. This one by Conqueror. Who is coming back. So it's 2-1 for Mr. Boanan, but Conqueror getting the first point here. GG by both players. Very well played. Alright, quickly checking the Discord. Conqueror is ready. Boanan is ready. Let's go! So in terms of deck, what do we have? They are really sticking to their decks. I think there is no difference. Both players believe that their deck is better than the opponent's deck, or equal, and that they have better skill than their opponents.
Nice.
Both options are valid. But I know that both players respect each other a lot. They both know that they're very strong, so maybe they're happy to let it go and to hope that the best APM and the best micro and the best choices win. We have the little piece of art from Conqueror that's going to become a meme, most likely. And again, this time, Boanan is taking the same choice as the previous game. He doesn't do his little push anymore, but he takes a third. And Conqueror is countering that by doing the Forge tech. Again, with the very strong mortars of Conqueror, one of the very best mortar users. Very good placement.
Certified.
So the game is pretty cool for the moment, pretty passive. At this point, in the previous game, Boanan did his push. Yeah, he's doing it again this time. Maybe it's just a poke. No, it's I think it's a real push because he's using the wasps at the same time to do the shield for the knights. So we are going to get our first real fight for this round. Not a good engagement here by Conqueror. He should have waited for a little bit extra army to come. But now the bulk of his army is there, so it should even out even with the defender's advantage. But I didn't like the early engagement of Conk here. Yeah, you can see that Boanan is managing to advance, but the first mortar is placed. And the wasps are exploding everywhere, but they managed still to kill a few mortars. Remember that mortars lost 10% HP during one of the recent balance patches, which means that wasps sometimes can still kill one or two. And Boanan is splitting his army, very good move here. You force your opponent to spread everything. And at the minimum, he will get a few workers down. So very good move here by Boanan. He's placing a few mortars here, but you can see that there is a very good counterattack here by Conqueror. Both players are playing very well in this case, exploiting the weaknesses in the positioning of the mortars of the opponents. Bonan is coming back. Oh! Conqueror gave up for this one. He saw that his attack didn't work. I think that it was a little bit early to leave. He could maybe have tried, but yeah, he was probably fucked. Okay, so it's 3-1 favor of Boanan. Conqueror's hair went back from golden to brown. Yeah, as Volcanic is saying, too many mortars were lost on the side of Conqueror. Mistake on that side. So I'm going to re-invite both players. Pop, pop, pop. Boanan is ready, Conqueror is ready, let's go baby! Boanan still has to win 2 games if he wants to win the tournament. So nothing is done yet. Conqueror still has all the possibility to go back, and both players still keep the same deck. They are very confident with their choices, and I think that it's correct because you can see that every time one of those games is won, it's thanks to a very good move, a very good decision by one of the players. So they are both betting on their ability to surprise the opponent. You can see the Boanan move here made by Conqueror. That's something that was often done by Boanan, not in this tournament, surprisingly. Because if a player like me moves his little blink here at this time, he won't have had the time to catch those scorpions. Then the scorpions can move through the wall here and be in the backline before it's too late. That's why I move my units a little bit differently now, but it worked in the past. And you can see that Boanan, he's doing the push, but here is a beautiful move by Conqueror. He started to learn the style of Boanan. And Boanan is reacting quickly, but it's going to cost a few workers for Boanan, who got his third, while Conqueror is going for the Starforge deck. Surprising, he's not going for the mortars anymore this time. He wants to change his style. And I quite like it, because there is nothing to counter the mammoths immediately in the deck of Boanan. The mammoths are a very, very good unit when there is no anti-big, so we can expect a mammoth push from Mr. Conqueror, even though he's making dragonflies instead. Oh yeah, I'm done. There is no tier from Boanan. So this is 3 extra shots from the dragonflies, but it costs a lot of money for not that much damage in terms of burst. But as time passes, they are more and more getting reimbursed, if I can say. The dragonfly are now worth it, I think, with the damage they did over time. And they are still there, still 2-3 units. But that's going to maybe cost quite a few workers to Conqueror. There are fights everywhere at the same time. I'm trying to keep up. Yeah, a lot of workers lost by Conqueror to this Wasp run by. And Conqueror is going to try to do something once again with the dragonflies. And we have the mammoths, which are going to wreck the knights in this case. So this is going to be very difficult for Boanan to resist. However, he's putting some towers, but it's not the ground towers, it's the air tower. And they don't do that much damage against grounds, unless I'm mistaken. They do a little bit of damage, but it's just an extra little a bit of damage. The dragonflies were not used, I think, here. But yeah, that push is going to be fatal for this expansion, I believe, because of the amount of the mammoths. Yeah. But we have the T3 from Boanan with the shades. And there is not going to be enough anti-air. And we see here, there was a change, I think, in the deck of Boanan. He didn't have the Valkyrie before, right? So of course the shades don't do anything against mammoths because they are big. And the shades absolutely obliterate the core units and the workers, but not the big units. But there is so many of them combined with the wasp and the little bit of damage from the Valkyries that in the end the mammoths get sent to the cemetery. With a little Scorpion train on the main of Boanan from Conqueror. We're starting to feel that it's... Oof. They are not doing the damage that should be done. We still have the sneaky Scorpions on the top left of the map from Conqueror. But yeah, Boanan is going to absolutely destroy the economy of Conqueror with the shades. And that costs a lot of money. With the Valkyries, which is the wonderful counter against the Dragonfly, this feels like GG. Yeah. Well played. Well played by Boanan, who is getting his fourth match point. So the life of Conqueror is on the line. He has to find his Super Saiyan mode again, otherwise the tournament is over if Boanan wins the next one. And so Boanan will get 40 euros and Conqueror 10 euros. I think that Boanan is one of the 3 persons that told me that he doesn't want the money if he wins. So if that happens during the next beta or 1.0 or whatever, I will do a tournament for 100 euros. Then, I mean, the prize pool here will be redirected. But I'm not sure if it was Boanan. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, up. But it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Conqueror can still activate his rage mode. And I think that Conqueror thought that it's best of 7. But it's a best of 9. Going to send him a little chat. Or did I not invite him properly? Pretty sure I did. Oh! Okay, he's saying yes in the chat, so I don't know, maybe taking a break. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Hopefully Conqueror will be able to give us a good game and to come back in this series. Okay, both players are already in the chats on the Discord, so let's go, baby. And order changes. Yes, Boanan changed his deck here. He went to Blink Hornets with the sniper. Yeah, full swap.
We are
quite a few units from Boanan, and he's rushing like crazy into Conqueror. What? Yeah, he wants to chip damage against the Scorpion, so he's going to do the micro abuse against the Scorpion, which I believe is a very good strategy. And on his side, Conqueror also made some changes because instead of the cat bus, we have a shade now, which I don't think we had in the previous game. So let's see how Boanan manages to micro these units. While both players are taking with their foundry. No third base this time. It's very difficult to play this kind of engagements with the Scorpions, in my opinion. It's much easier to micro the Blinks. And it can be frustrating with the Scorpions because I believe you cannot win it. At least your opponents can always escape with the Blinks, while you cannot always escape with the Scorpion. So it's a very tough fight, and I like how Boanan decided to immediately send an army to his opponent. And also you're taking your opponent off guard, because the previous games didn't play that way. And so the opponent's brain was getting used to some kind of flow, which is not there anymore. And again, nice sneaky snakes here from Conqueror. He's getting at least 2 workers, but he will get 3, 4 or more, maybe 5. 5 workers. Very nice, but now the mortar is there, so it's not going to work out anymore for him. Both players with their third base. You can see here the sneaky snakes. Always a good strategy. They were not detected by Boanan, and as soon as an engagement is going to announce itself, Conqueror can send these Scorps inside of the backline of Boanan. Always a good play. Something that more players could do to win a few points on the ladder. But sometimes the sneaky snakes are getting caught by the opponents, and this is a prime example here. That moment can still be used sometimes to push at the middle, because you're creating a displacement of the enemy army. But here in this case, maybe it was not worth it against the mortars. No, it was not worth it. Just with a few Scorps. Ooh, very nice attack. Ooh, this could be the game ender. He's going to get the base for sure, yeah. Lost a few blinks, but he destroyed 2 mortars plus the base. He's also getting a few extra free Scorps here. That was extremely painful for Conqueror. Conqueror is activating the little sneaky snake here. But Boanan will most likely react. Let's see, he will probably pop some units. Also, he has his snipers out. Yeah, he still has a mortar there. Still getting a few workers, so absolutely worth it in the end. But man, the snipers are going to hurt. Yeah, snipers are also one of those overtime units. The longer they stay on the battlefield, the more they earn. We can see that with a little bit of kiting, he's also very nicely using the blinks on top of the snipers to protect them from the Scorpions. Very nice move from Boanan. And Conqueror is slowly fading into oblivion. We can see there is a large population difference here. He's going to try to go back with the shades, but Boanan detected it and is taking to the Valkyries, which will hard counter the shades, so it will be rough. There we go with the shades. He has to do the damage before the Valkyries are out. They are also countered quite a bit by the advanced blink, but not as violently as the Valkyries. Yeah, I'm not sure if he obtained enough value out of them, and now it's going to be too late. Maybe if he does a split, send a few here and send a few there, and at least try to get the worker line. No, he prefers to get the mortars. But he's slowly getting his way back into the population, but he has an army which is countered, so I don't think that the numbers here matter too much. Very nice moves all the time by both players. Bonan will also use his Valkyries against the Scorps. Even if they don't do anything, it's still chipping some damage. And you can see that Conqueror is going to do a counter-attack in the backline here with the Shades. He's going to try to surprise his opponent. That is quite costly, but only matter units, so it's okay. Yeah, all the eco here disappeared. And Bonan is not going to be able to react on time, so the Shades are clearly paying for themselves now. And this is a possible comeback in this game from Conqueror, but he has to defend this, and the problem are the advanced blinks, so he needs the destroyers. I think that Conqueror has to do a few destroyers, otherwise it will be hard. If Bonan decides to right click his big base here, since they do the extra damage. And he cannot defend with the Shades because they will be insta-killed by the Valkyries. A difficult game, very rough. Bonan is still abusing with his snipers. But he's still not making any money at this moment, which is very notable. It's also good to note that in the fights that we had, the advanced blink, they don't do any damage against the army because there is nothing big in the army of Conqueror. So they wreck the buildings, but face to face with Scorpions, for example, they are not that worth it. But the thing is that Bonan can just camp like he is doing it here to force Conqueror to go out. Otherwise the timer will kill Conqueror, and so I think that we will have the final sacrifice, and we will see if it will be enough for Conqueror to stay in the series. I think that Bonan will have like again a 4% advantage here. I mean 8 because it's multiplied by 2, so it will be 46, 54, something like that. Yeah, 6%. The Conqueror has to push with everything. If he gets this base, it's immediately a few persons on his side. It's not going to be enough. Ah la la, no, he can't, but he had no other choice. GG. This is the victory of Mr. Bonan, who won the CBT3 Battle Aces Brussels Sprout Tournament. Congratulations to Bonan. Congratulations to Conqueror as well for going so far in the tree. Congratulations to all the players that participated. And thank you as well to all the viewers. I will do a little bit of edits, and I will upload this to YouTube for the people that want to check it out later. Thanks a lot, everybody, and thanks a lot to Uncapped for this game. I'm really looking forward for the next iteration of the game. It's going to be fun. The game is getting better and better every time. And I wish you a great day, everybody. Bye bye.